Name is Jake Clemens, and I'm older than these hills here. You're probably too young to remember 1938, but one of the hottest dang years I can ever recollect. That sun damn near did me in that year. I'd have been buzzard meat for sure if it wasn't for her. Yeah, you see, I've been panning these hills for years, and I ain't never felt nothing like the heat in that desert. You see, I was with what them city slickers referred to as a dust picker, a 49er. Hell, I was just a young desert rat trying to sift a living out of old Satan's sandbox. Yeah, that's what they called them hills, and right appropriate, too. It was the hottest godforsaken place I'd ever seen. I must have been crazy to try and find gold in that hell, but, well, it was there all right, and every once in a while, old Mother Earth would turn a little nugget over to me, just enough to keep me in grub till the next one showed up. I was crazy, all right, and too young to be ornery, but, well, I had one thing going for me. I had a nose for gold. I could just sniff the air and tell if there was gold nearby. And as sure as the sky is blue, if I smelled gold, it wouldn't be long before I'd be smiling at the prettiest little nuggets you ever saw. But 38 was different. I was after more than gold then. I was after a legend. You see, I'd heard rumors about some Injun tribe that lived up in them hills there, and well, they paid homage to this rain goddess, a white girl, hair the color of the setting sun. Well, one day they just mysteriously up and disappeared, and, well, they supposedly left behind a treasure out there in that sun-bleached hell of Satan's sandbox. Well, sir, I was determined to find that treasure. So determined it drove me past all reason. My water supply had run out and the creek beds were all dry. The heat of that sun was draining the life right out from under me, but my parched body just kept on going. Looking for that treasure when I should have been looking for water. Yes, sir, I was dying all right and didn't know it. And then, just when I was about to drop, a glint caught my eye. A glint of gold. I staggered mindlessly toward it, a dying man with a fever of gold as my final prayer. Well, with one final effort, I reached out to claim my find. It was a coin. Some sort of ancient medallion. And Satan himself smote me down in his own backyard, and I lay there with his hot breath on my neck, just inches away from the treasure I sought.
Mister. Hey, mister. Are you okay? Hey, mister. Mister.
No.
Hey. Are you okay?
Who...
Don't try to speak. There. Right. Come.
Who are you?
My name is Kyrie. It's an Indian word for soft, warm rain.
She don't look like an Injun.
No. My parents and I were crossing the desert on our way to Oregon. The heat and the lack of water, it was too much for them. They died not far from here. When the Indians found me, just barely alive, they took me back to their camp and gave me water. They were fascinated with my light skin and hair. But they too were dying. Their crops and their animals needed water badly. That day they brought me into camp. Thunder rolled in over the hills, and it began to rain. They considered me a blessing from the gods, so they named me Kyrie.
Soft, warm rain. Well, what happened to the rest of the tribe?
They're around.
You know, I owe you my life. If you hadn't come along when you did, well, I'd have been buzzard meat for sure.
Maybe someday you can repay me. But now you need to rest.
There was something strange about Kyrie, and the way she just appeared in the nick of time. There was something even stranger about the place she was taking me to. Why, I knew these hills like the back of my hand, but I ain't never seen that pond before. Hell, I ain't never seen hiding her hair, the place that stood before me now. I thought I still had a touch of the fever, but, well, there it was, rising out of the sand, as solid as the nose on my face.
What is this place?
It's called Tuliani, the water of life. A place for you to rest. Some believe the water is magic.
I've never seen it before. I've been all over these hills. I ain't never seen it.
It's been here as long as I can remember. Come.
I don't mind telling you, that place was starting to give me the willies. Well, sir, that did it. My knees commenced knocking, and my heart pounded like an Apache war drum. I swore I must have died out there in the desert, and that this was some kind of prospector heaven. I had no idea where I was, but I figured if I was in heaven, I'd be all right. You see, after I drunk some water from that well, I started feeling kind of lightheaded, like I'd ate some loco weed or something. But you see, Kyrie had left me in the hands of what I figure were a couple of angels getting me all spruced up to meet St. Peter. Well, I got that sprucing up part right, but Peter they had in mind weren't no saint.
Oh, thank me. Hell, I should be thanking you. Oh, that there was the best loving I had since, well, Oh, that was nice. It was real nice.
I was gonna tell him about my good times back at Big Bertha's chicken ranch, but I figured I'd better keep my trap shut. This may be in heaven and all.
That was mighty fine.
Say, well, what'd you say your names were, anyhow?
I'm Yana.
I'm Tushy.
Tushy? How'd you ever get a name like that? Well, supposing I could guess.
They're Indian names. Come on, let's put this on you.
Indian names? Well, that's kind of funny. This second time today I run into somebody with an Indian name who ain't even an Indian. How'd you get them Indian names? Where are we? What is this place anyhow?
You asked too many questions. Come, we'll show you Tuliani.
Well, wait a minute. You're damn right to ask a lot of questions. I mean, hell, ain't every day, I kill over in the desert and wake up and find a beautiful Indian girl who ain't even an Indian, just hovering over me and then taking me to some pond out in some sun-parched desert during a dry spell and then bringing me here when here ain't even supposed to be here anyhow. Now, you're dang right I got a whole bunch of questions for you. Now, wait a minute, girl. I want some answers here. Hold on.
Nah, I don't mind telling you, I felt plumb stupid in them frilly duds, but my old dungarees had enough of the desert and me in them to walk all by themselves. And then, well, something strange happened. When I got close to that fountain, I got a real powerful hankering for another sip of that water. There was something different about that water. There was something different about that whole place. You see, everyone I spoke to had an Injun name, but not a one of them looked like an Injun. I was about as confused as a chicken caught up in a Kansas twister. I had a head full of questions, and I wanted some answers.
Jake, this is Tamawi, and this is Wakara.
Welcome.
Hi.
Welcome.
Welcome.
We heard of your arrival, and I hope you enjoy your stay at Tuliani and everything that it has to offer. You have been refreshed, haven't you?
Yes.
And Yana too? Mm-hmm. It's wonderful. Wakara is next in line for refreshment, aren't you?
Yep, and I hope it's soon.
Well, speaking of refreshment, I can go for some of that water now myself. What's so funny?
Tamawi was speaking of our refreshment, not yours.
Sure hope you enjoyed yourselves.
It's not what you think. You see, the Tuliani need refreshment.
Well, what does Kyrie have to do with all this?
She's the provider. You asked too many questions. Come on, it's time for nourishment.
As you all know by now, this is Jake Clemens. He'll be staying with us here at Tuliani. I'm sure he has many questions, and I want you all to make him feel very welcome. Tamawi, you will show Jake to his room after he has nourished himself.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Jake, we want your stay to be a pleasant one here. We are simple people. We require simple things. Please don't pry too deeply into our lives, as we may all benefit from you being here.
Well, things was getting stranger by the minute. Who was this Kyrie anyway? And who were these people, really? What did Kyrie mean by us all benefiting from my stay there? I found it hard to take my eyes off her. And I couldn't help but notice her glancing back. Ah, she was special, all right, and downright beautiful. But why was I so thirsty? And why does everybody have such a need to be refreshed? Well, I just ate the victuals in front of me while the questions danced in my head.
I want to thank you kindly for the food and hospitality, Kyrie. But I best be heading back to camp before it gets dark.
Oh, no, Jake. Please don't leave tonight. Your arrest here has not been completed. Well, we would feel badly if you were to leave too soon.
Well, I suppose I could spend the night if it's no trouble. You know, you sure know how to make a man feel welcome. I don't suppose you could show me where I'd be bunking down tonight.
No. Tamawi will do that.
All right. I best be going then. Thanks again, Kyrie.
Good night, Jake. Rest well, Jake Clemens.
So, Tamawi showed me the way to my quarters. On the way, I couldn't help stopping at that blasted fountain for a little refreshment. It was about that time that Tamawi asked if she could be refreshed. Well, sir, being the gentleman that I was, I naturally offered her the gourd, but well, she refused it. And then she commenced to show me what she meant by getting refreshed. As we headed over to my bunk room, things started to make a little more sense. Oh, I'd refresh her all right. I'd refresh the hell out of her, but I'd get some answers first.
Hey, hey, hold it. Now hold your horses, young lady. Now wait a minute. Now before we get all tangled up here, I got a bunch of questions I gotta throw at you.
Oh, please. I need refreshing.
Now that's one of the things I want to find out about. And if you don't cut that out, you're not gonna get any refreshing. Now, what's this refreshing business all about anyway?
Well, we, the people of Tiliani, we need to make love to the people that have had a drink from the water of life. It refreshes us.
Well, I feel kind of refreshed myself, but I still don't get it.
Well, you drank from the water of life.
You mean that little old well out there? That's the waters of life? Uh-huh. No wonder I'm so blame thirsty all the time. Wait a minute, I get it now. I sipped from the well. So now I gotta go around refreshing everybody. And what does Kyrie have to do with all this?
Well, she's a provider. She provides the rain for the water of life. And she also provides us with everything that we need, including you.
So what happens if you don't get refreshed?
We die.
Well, sir, that was just too much to bear. I mean, what could I do? A sweet young filly like that, dying on me if I didn't give her a little refreshing. I did what any red-blooded American would do. Grabbed a quick swick of the waters of life and commenced her to give her the best refreshing of her life. I didn't know whether to believe her or not, but I wasn't about to argue the point. I couldn't help but get the feeling that these people were needing something, and needing it real bad. Tamawi was, well, she was just soaking up my affections like an orphan child. But somehow I couldn't get Kyrie out of my mind. I'd look at Tamawi's face and see Kyrie looking back at me. There was just something about her, something special. The kind of woman dreams are made of. I would sleep well that night, and I would dream of Kyrie.
Tell me of your refreshing with Jake. Was it satisfactory?
Oh, yes, Kyrie. It was more than usual. It was enjoyable.
I thought as much. When I found him in the desert, I knew he was different. I felt he had great strength, like the strength of our ancestors. Your refreshing will last a long time.
I know. I still feel him about me.
You feel this too?
Yes, it's very strange. It's like an eagle gliding on a warm wind.
The waters of life have given him much strength. He seeks the knowledge of our tribe, but we must be careful, because he's more than he seems. He's powerful. He's a warrior. Come close so I can feel his strength. Oh, yes. He is very strong.
You know, I owe you my life. If you hadn't come along when you did, I'd have been buzzard meat for sure.
Maybe someday you can repay me. The waters of life have given him much strength. He seeks the knowledge of our tribe, but we must be careful, because he's more than he seems. He's powerful. He's a warrior. Come close so I can feel his strength. Maybe someday you can repay me. Pay me. Pay me.
Is anybody here?
Well, Right about then, I felt something kind of strange coming over me, aside from a terrible hankering for that blame water. I started thinking maybe I was the only one around, and maybe everyone else never really existed at all. I got kind of spooked thinking I'd died out there in that desert, or maybe I was just going crazy and having hallucinations from desert fever. Well, it was right about then that I saw Tushy. A real slap back into reality. Maybe that rainstorm last night gave the old waters of life an extra kick. I ain't seen shenanigans like this since Big Bertha's. It was just about then that I realized that the waters of life had a special kind of magic. I wasn't quite sure what it was, but well, it seemed that anyone who drank water from that well, they were falling in love left and right. Why, it was even affecting me. I found myself with some mighty powerful desires towards Kyrie. Of course, then again, who wouldn't? She was a real special lady, and I wanted to find her.
The Tuliani are being refreshed. The time of sleep draws near, and I too grow tired. But I must lead the Tuliani and replenish the waters of life. As promised by the old ones, in thanks for the soft warm rain I bring, the strongest warrior shall be mine. And do you know who I choose?
I feel it is Jake Clemens.
Yes. I was attracted to him from the first moment I saw him.
But he is not Tuliani.
He is Tuliani, a gift from the old ones. Prepare him. Prepare Jake Clemens and bring him to me.
I couldn't find the blame soul anywhere. I had a lot of questions for Kyrie, but I was getting the feeling that she didn't want to be found. At least I knew I wasn't going loco after seeing Tushy. Well, so I headed back to the courtyard. After all, I was a gentleman, and I wanted to pay my respects to Kyrie for saving my life and all. And then I was gonna head on back to the hills and try to get a grip on my sanity.
Come, Jake. Kyrie awaits.
And them gals was sure sprucing me up. I told them all I wanted to do was say my farewells to Kyrie. But I kind of got the feeling they had something else in mind. Oh, they was a-laughing and a-carrying on and hanging beads on me and a-dolling me up just like a redskin. I knew something was up, but, well, I didn't know what it was.
Jake, This is for strength. And this is for courage and bravery.
And this is for love.
How's it look?
Good.
And then
Drink.
Tushy offered me a drink.
Drink.
I admit I was a little thirsty, but well, this stuff hit me like the kick of a bee-bitten mule. Why, even Big Bertha's pot liquor didn't pack that much of a wallop.
He's ready.
Well, whatever they had in store for me, I was ready for it now for sure.
I've been looking for you.
I've been thinking.
I've been thinking too. I've been thinking I should leave here and head back to the desert, but I don't want to go.
Yes, I know. You've rested well at Tuliani. The waters of life have given you great strength.
You know, I never got a chance to thank you for saving my hide. I'm still not sure what's going on here, but I wanted to thank you anyway.
You've asked many questions. The knowledge of the Tuliani will come to you in time. But for now, be content with what you have learned, and ask no more.
Content? How can I be content standing here all dialed up like an Indian with a heart full of feelings towards you? I don't even know you. Kyrie, who are you?
The feelings that you feel, I feel too. When I brought you here, I said that perhaps someday you could repay me.
So beautiful. So beautiful.
Remember me when I bring the rain. Hey, mister. Hey, are you okay? Hey, mister. Mister. Are you okay?
Kyrie.
No, it's Carrie. I told you already. Boy, you're really lucky I spotted you. Here, have some water. No, slow down. You can't drink it too fast. Just a little at a time. There you go. Okay. Well, you know, you could have just died out here in this heat. Here.
Where did you come from?
Well, my parents, we're just camping right up the road there. I was going into town for some supplies, and I saw you laying here in the dirt. Well, you're really lucky. Listen, can you move? Let's try and get you into town.
You say your name is Carrie?
Yeah, that's right. Carrie. Come on. What's that?
It's just something I found.
I still ain't sure how it all happened, but one thing I do know, I'll always keep this here medallion close to my heart to remind me of my love for Kyrie. You see, the way I figure it, I must have been right on top of that old ancient Injun burial ground, and well, as I lay there dying in the sand, Kyrie and them Injun spirits come along with the water of life to keep me alive long enough until Carrie could find me out there, and I owe 'em my life. I'll never forget Kyrie as long as I live, especially when it rains. Soft, warm.
Mr. Clemens. Mr. Clemens. Are you telling stories again? Now, come on. It's gonna start to rain. You don't want to get wet now, do you? You'll have to forgive him. He likes to make things up.